Well, the heat is well and truly in place across the desert southwest. Thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's US Outlook. The high temperature yesterday reached a record 118 degrees in Phoenix, 119 in Palm Springs, and I believe it was 114 in Las Vegas. We are going to crank the heat further today, and the temperature may be threatening all-time records for cities such as Phoenix and Las Vegas. We may even threaten the record in Palm Springs as well. The all-time record in Palm Springs, by the way, is 123. But certainly we are going to be talking about some exceptional heat, even for this typically hot area of the country. The reason why is we've got a high pressure system at nearly 600 decameters here, so exceptional heat centered directly over the central and southern portion of Arizona, but that extends out, well into California as well, where places such as Death Valley could be into the 127, 128 Celsius or Fahrenheit, should I say, range. But certainly, all the while, we are seeing a significant change in the pattern across the upper Midwest and the northeastern half of the country. Of course, when you've got a massive ridge of high pressure centered over the west, quite often you do get uh, a downstream trough in response to that. And what is essentially going to take place is we're going to maintain a very, very hot pattern across the western half of the country through the remainder of this week, but it will slowly ease. Now, what also is interesting is what's going on in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. We could be looking at uh, a landfall of a tropical system. I'll have more on that in a second, but also I'll have more on that in the written post uh, as well as the details on the heat wave over the southwestern half of the country. Now, what I want to look at is a skip through the GFS geopotential heights, the anomalies here, and you can see here how the ridge kind of flattens out slightly, but you've still got heights in excess of 590 here. So the heat is going to maintain itself, I think, through the remainder of this work week. And what we're going to see is you can see here the model, even in the upper levels of the atmosphere, indicating something coming into the upper Texas coast here. We've also got a very deep feature here crossing southern Canada. What is going to happen is as we go through the remainder of this week and into the weekend here, you can see systems kind of sliding in. It kind of starts to cut the heights here and therefore introducing cooler, drier air out of Canada into the midwestern half of the country and eventually the east as well. We've got a ridge of high pressure here. As that system comes onshore, we build heights to the east of the southeast coast, and therefore we're going to see heat getting transferred up into the up and through Florida and the southeastern half of the country. But you can see here that we do dig this trough here, and we also have heights rebuilding over the southwest and the western half of the country overall here. So we're going to continue to see shots of cool coming down over top of this building ridge, which kind of re-establishes itself for a period of time before eventually through the middle part of next week what we're going to see is a system coming into the Pacific Northwest that's going to essentially trim back the heights significantly over the western half of the country, and we are going to see a cool down here, a cool down by southwest standards. That is, of course. What we are going to essentially see, however, is as this trough starts to deepen over the west coast, we're going to pump some heat into the central portion of the country, and we could be talking about temperatures into the 100s quite comfortably across North Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and even in the Dakotas here as this system comes into the Pacific Northwest. We've got a trough in the west that, of course, provides a downstream ridge of high pressure. Then we've also got further downstream a trough over the northeastern half of the country. So let's have a quick look at what the model is indicating with regards to this tropical system. Like I say, I'll have more details on this as we go through the course of today and tomorrow here. But there's the system here. The GFS is indicating that it deepens, it goes below 1,000 millibars. It drives a tremendous amount of moisture into Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the western panhandle of Florida here. But this system is seen to deepen here hovering around 996 millibars here as it comes into the Beaumont area of Texas, right on the border between Louisiana and Texas here during the day on Thursday. So we're going to really watch this feature quite a bit as we go through the next few days here. But certainly very interesting to see this taking place here over the next couple of days here, early on in the season. And certainly it is not good in some respects to see this kind of thing going on. We've also seen a system off the west coast of Africa. That is the feature that is now Tropical Storm Brett. It's crossing the far southern portion of the Caribbean Sea, affecting islands such as Aruba. That is essentially came off Africa as an unusually large and strong African wave, something you don't typically see until later August and into September, when the African wave train, or that season, the Cape Verde. I'm just trying to think of the name. The Cape Verde season really doesn't begin until the latter half of the hurricane season. But because we've seen significant warming in waters off Africa and across the main development region of the tropics, this is certainly a concern as we go forward here. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll be back in the next few days once again. Bye for now.